Hi, ladies. Thank you for joining me tonight. We will be getting started in 5 minutes. I'm going to do my best to project. I'm a little bit sick, so I apologize if I am difficult to hear. I'm going to try very hard to enunciate and make sure that you can understand me. Hi. I know I'm not feeling better, but I have a Z-Pack and I have my treatment on Thursday. So hopefully that will kick this to the curb. And then I've got another treatment in 3 weeks right before I leave for Punta Cana. So, excuse me. I haven't talked all day long. I've been saving my voice for this call. So hopefully in not too long, it'll kind of even out and will sound a little bit better. Fingers crossed. Oh, thank you. For me, showing up is a matter of, it's a matter of commitment. Not only because I've committed to you to be here, but also because I'm committed to my Jamberry business. And one of my mottos is whatever it takes. And my plan was today that if there was at any way possible that I could make this happen, I would. So I'm not coming to you tonight to say, look at what a great job I did. But I do want you all to know that I'm committed to you and to my Jamberry business and to each of your Jamberry businesses. So whatever it takes, that's my motto. It doesn't hurt me to talk. It just doesn't sound very good. We've got about 2 minutes, and I want to read some of the amazing victories as we get started. So I'm just pulling that up right now so that I can read those as we get started. So now that we're at week 4, I've finally figured out that I can do a split screen. So I've got all 4 windows open on my computer and I can see everything all at one time. I don't have to click around. So I did finally figure it out. So thank you for being my guinea pigs. Next time we run through with your recruits, we'll be a little bit more polished and professional. So I'm going to go ahead and read through some of these victories that were shared. We have a lot of people who added team members, people who were active for the first time in a long time. We have a lot of ladies who ranked up or were paid as their rank. People who have booked parties. One of you said that you booked 7 parties. That's awesome. That you've perfected your elevator pitches. You've had successful events, and just the confidence that you are feeling. Jacqueline shared she's not only added a new teammate, but was able to feel confident enough to tackle her first in-home party, as well as her first small vendor event. And, confidence is a major thing, and I'm so glad that you ladies are gaining that through this training. It's going to assist you in life in general, not just in your Jamberry business. Of course, it's going to help your business explode, but it's going to help you be more confident and successful in your other endeavors as well, which is one of the things that I'm really committed to. The skills and the traits that you develop in Jamberry are going to help you go far in life. And one of the things that the leadership is really committed to is that Jamberry is a leadership company. We build leaders, we develop leaders, and we just happen to have amazing, crazy, wonderful nail care products. That just happens to be the arena in which we develop leaders. Our goal is to empower women to make life beautiful. And one of the ways that we can do that is by recognizing characteristics in other people before maybe they even notice them in themselves, and nurturing and developing those things. So when you guys share with me that your confidence is blooming, I am so excited. Fabulous Party made new contacts. New customers who've never tried Jamberry. You guys are reaching out to your past customers and helping them with application issues, which is going to create even more passionate customers. You are becoming more professional. You're learning to conduct yourself as CEO of your own company, and that really is impressive. Tracy shared she was in the top 10 in sales for her upline. And Carolyn shared she got 4 new team members, hit lead consultant, and had the second highest PRV month since she started. That was in February. That's amazing. March is going to be, I bet you're going to top your best month ever, Caroline. Kara says she regained a lot of focus on her business and good clarity regarding personality styles. It's boosted her confidence. And during a time of massive turmoil and loss in her life, and having this to refocus on Jamberry has been a blessing. Hashtag be a family, hashtag be a blessing. I love to see y'all using those brand value hashtags. Definitely more organized. Thank you, Linda. So the victories are amazing. And whether you go on to graduate and you finish your homework this week and you graduate, or you don't, I know that you have already seen massive gains. So I'm just checking up on the messages here. I'm positive. I know I sound bad, but it's not hurting me. So yeah, no, I'm not. I have milk, which I know is the worst thing to drink whenever you are sick, but it's the best thing to drink to soothe your throat when you're trying to talk. So, Jacqueline, I am so appreciative for all of you. You are very welcome. So let's jump in. We're going to start out with our slide here. Tonight, we're going to be talking about time management, business management, and emotion management. So some really incredible things that we're going to talk about tonight. Share to work here. Oh, way better than home office PowerJams. I am honored. Awesome. All right, so you should be seeing the time management slide, hopefully. There we go. All right, so the first rule of time management is to work hard and play hard. So my favorite, oh, you're seeing a picture of me. Okay, let's see if I can. All right, how about now? Now it's there, good, okay. So the most important thing, the very first rule is work hard, play hard. I cannot convey to you enough that you are never going to have more time. Time management is really about priority management. You have to prioritize and able to do the things you want to do, the things you need to do, and to invest time to create the life that you really want. Now, this may be a new concept to you of creating a life that you want. And if it is, I want you to really sit with that and think about it, because we are in an industry that is flexible and empowering and allows us to create a life that works for us. We can create that work-life balance, and just as easily we can create work-life imbalance. When you work for yourself and you set your own hours, it's really easy to never work, and it's really easy to never play. And so you are in charge of that. You have to find a balance. So in doing that, I want you to think about the concept of seasons, seasons of focus. Now, undoubtedly, there are going to be seasons in your life that are going to be harder than others, especially for us as entrepreneurs, as we build our own businesses. And I want you to just keep in mind here that we're not looking for the perfect balanced life. That doesn't exist. What we're looking for is harmony. So there are seasons of hard work and there are seasons of play, but successful people do what other people aren't willing to do. So are you willing to do those things? If you are, then you have to commit to it. One of the ways that you can do this is to create systems that support you and that make you happy. I mean, you're doing this for a reason. I mean, none of us are doing it for our health. We want to make money. We want to build a better future, a better life, more relationships, more flexibility, whatever your why is. Your system should support that. Whether that is pen and paper, going old school, or working in Trello or a spreadsheet, find a system that works for you. And don't try to make that system perfect. There's no such thing. I have spent a lot of time looking for a perfect system. If there were one, I would certainly share it with you. But you can invest a lot of time in the form of something and never benefit from its function. So I want to encourage you to not elevate the form of your system over the function. Now, one of the things that you can do to aid in this system is to create a list of your 6 most important things and a master list. So the 6 most important things is a concept that comes from Charles Schwab. He teaches this concept. So every night before you go to sleep, make a list of only the top 6 things you need to do the next day. Personal things, professional things, either way. Since these are your 6 big things, you need to do those as quickly as possible. And then the next day, if you didn't accomplish all 6, you move whatever is left to the top of the next day. Now, here's an interesting thing about women. Whenever we sit down to make a list, we will make a list as long as our piece of paper. The thing that men do that's amazing is they make a list with like 3 big things on it, and then they do their 3 things, they check them off, they pat themselves on the back and say, I did a great job today, and then they go put their feet up and watch a show, or they crack open a beer, or they go play golf or bowl or something. Women, we knock off those top 3 things and we go, look at all this time I have. I could totally do so much more. And so we add more things to our list. Now, maybe it's just me, but I have at times, like every day, been guilty of adding things to my list that I've already done just so that I can have the satisfaction of crossing them off. This is no way to live. Take it from me. So make your list of the top 6 things. Chandra says her husband is sitting there with her laughing at the statement. But is it true? I mean, we all have men in our lives who do that. So, and we all have women in our lives. So, one of the things about making a top 6 list is it forces you to prioritize. If you know you only have 6 spots on that piece of paper, even use a small piece of paper, a small notebook, a Post-it note, a postage stamp. I mean, let's get these papers small, ladies. Get really hyper focused, okay? And then if you don't, one thing that I have found is if there's something that continually gets moved from day to day to day, then obviously it's not really that important. And consider whether or not it actually belongs on your list, okay? Because if something isn't getting done, there's a reason it's not getting done. So maybe it doesn't belong on your list. Then the other concept here for time management, and those of you who are saying your lists are 3 pages long, Tracy and Patricia, do a master list. Do a brain dump of everything that you need to do. Who you need to call. You need to repaint the living room. You need to get tennis shoes for the kids. You need to make those dentist appointments. All of these things, get them out of your brain. Dump them out. If your brain is consumed with remembering all the things that have to be done, then you don't have intellectual capacity to focus in and prioritize and do what you need to do. So do a brain dump, get it out. I always tell people when you do this, no judgment, okay? So it doesn't matter what's on your list. Do not filter yourself. Do not judge yourself. If you have to shave your legs, pick up the kids from school, these things on your list so that they're out of your brain, do it, okay? As you go through the week and you start thinking of things to do, start moving them to your 6 things list. This is going to free up your mind of everything that you're forgetting. Now, if you want to really organize, one of the things that I do, I only do it maybe quarterly or twice a year, but when I start feeling really overwhelmed, I sit down and do a master list brain dump, and then I go through and I color coordinate it. So I go back through with my highlighters, and everything that's Jamberry related, that's a phone call, I'll highlight in yellow. Everything that's family related that needs to be done, I'll highlight in pink. Everything that's household related, I'll highlight in blue. Anything money related, things I need to shop for or pay, that gets highlighted in green. And once I do that, then I feel like when I'm in pay bills mode, I can go through and look at all those things that are highlighted in green and make a plan for them. So that's just a little tidbit from me. If you're feeling really overwhelmed, set aside 15 minutes, set a timer, do a brain dump list. Keep that master list stashed somewhere. So if you're ever at a loss for your 6 most important things, which you probably will not be because we're girls, but if you ever get to 5 and you're thinking, gosh, what is that other thing I need to do? Check through your master list and see what else you can add to it. And in that process of doing a master list, a brain dump, you will find things that you can eliminate, things that you can delegate, and things that you can streamline and automate or put together in a system. For instance, bill paying, do it all at one time. It's a whole lot easier to batch things together. Make all of your phone calls at the same time. Put all of the items on the calendar at the same time. Take your mail to the post office once or twice a week. Don't drop everything and go every single day when you have something to send out. Put things in batches. And then the next thing, if you don't, Tracy says, I so don't delegate. If you don't delegate, then you are robbing yourself of time. and you're robbing of other people of the opportunity to learn and grow. And this is something I had to learn from experience. I was a little bit of a control freak and I didn't realize it. And I didn't delegate. There were two reasons I didn't delegate. One, I wasn't organized enough. I didn't ever plan anything far enough in advance to ask for help. So that was a problem that time management has helped me with. And the other thing was I wanted things done my way. And I was perfectionistic. And I had to learn that done is better than perfect, because I can spend all this time in my head perfecting the way that it should be, but if it doesn't actually get done, it doesn't matter. So our next step is going to be business management. So I'm going to switch the screen over. Let me know whenever you see the slide that says business management. And I see your comments that it's blurry. I'm sorry. I don't know why it's blurry today. And I'm getting lots of soul sister vibes here. It does speak to you, and we're so alike. I'm just speaking from experience. Okay, good. You see it. Patricia says, I feel like it's a trust issue. Like, don't trust someone else to do it correctly. Okay, you're a control freak. Admitting you have a problem is the first step to recovery. So I had to learn that, and I have been very pleasantly surprised with probably 90% of the things that I have delegated to other people and released the outcome. I have been very pleasantly surprised with the initiative that they've taken and the direction that they have taken it, and coming up with things that I would have never thought about. And so one of that goes hand in hand, trusting other people and living from an attitude of gratitude, go hand in hand, because whenever you're not being a control freak, you're releasing yourself from the outcome. You are more free to appreciate other people and their initiative and the things that they do. So it all starts to kind of come full circle, and it becomes easier as you go along. The first step is always the hardest. So remember always that you are a business owner. As a leader, you can't do for one person what you wouldn't do for 1,000 people. It will overwhelm you quickly and get you into trouble. So if you're spending an hour a day on the phone with every new consultant, project that forward. And what does it look like at your target and your goal, where you're adding one new person a week, 2 new people a week? What does it look like when your team is 100 people or 1,000 people or 10,000 people? Do the systems that you have in place right now, will they expand? Are they scalable? So you need to develop some guilt-free communication systems. Create systems that allow your team to know where and how to reach them, how to reach you, and that you know how to reach them. That way you're able to set business hours, and when you've done what you need to communicate with your team, you've done. So set that expectation. So for example, PowerJam, like we're doing right now, would you like to conduct a PowerJam training once a quarter or once every 6 months? You have to set that up in advance and let them know. Whenever they're asking for tips on time management, say, hey, you want to make sure and get into this PowerJam. We're going to be doing it in 2 months. That's when we're going to train on that. Remember that every time you say no to one thing, you're saying yes to something else. And if you are saying yes to everyone, then you are saying no to yourself. You're saying no to your family and to your husband and friends and people in your life. You do not want to alienate people because you spend all of your time on your business. And it's hard because what we do is so much fun. It can very easily take over our lives and consume all of our time and thought and energy. So setting systems in place will allow you to live in a more in a guilt-free way. Um, the daily vitamin is a great way that you can incorporate this with your team. You can set that up, and they will invest 5 minutes of their time every morning. They get to hear your voice, and it makes a huge impact. The system that I'm using is free, and daily is a dirty word to me. I am not very good at daily. So the daily vitamin, especially last week, whenever I started getting sick, kind of fell to the wayside. But especially if you are a type D or a type I, not I, because I'm an I and that's hard for me, S, those are going to be really great ways for you to communicate with your team and keep them on track. Another example are sending handwritten notes to your team members. This label system is a really great way to do this. If you do not have a printer at home, you can upload your information to avery.com and they will print out labels for you. Getting Happy Mail is so impactful, especially since people rarely send it out. I mean, I can tell you right now, I got a handwritten card from one of the participants of PowerJam. Thank you, Chandra. And it came on the same day as my first package from the new catalog. Okay, so I'm talking a bunch of jam freaks here. You know how exciting that first package from the new catalog is. Guess what got opened first? The handwritten note. So it's really important for your team to hear from you. If you have little note cards readily available to you and you have your team's names and addresses already printed out on a sheet of labels, you can take 3 minutes while you're waiting for your kid to, I'm going to explain it now. I know I haven't done a good job of explaining it yet. Take 3 minutes while you're waiting for your kids to get out of school or you're waiting at the doctor's office and write a note. So what the label system is once a quarter, you print out a set of labels, one mailing label for each member of your team. If you have a large team, if you have a smaller team, you could do this once a month. And then you never have to wonder who hasn't gotten a note from you because it's right there. If you still have their address label, they haven't gotten a note from you. Now, if you have a large team, now I have over 400 people that I'm team manager for. I'm probably not going to be able to send out 400 notes every quarter, but I will be able to see who I've sent a note to and who I haven't. So think about doing that. You don't have to go through every label every quarter, but you know who you've touched. And then it's important to print a new set each quarter or each month, whatever interval you choose, because obviously you'll be adding new people. Your team will be adding new people. Caroline said this would be great for VIP customers too. Yes, it would be. Part of setting up a system in place to do this is just being ready to take advantage of those small pockets of time and having them with you. One of the things that I have done is I printed address labels, return address labels, and purchased stamps. I keep it all together so that whenever I want to write a note, I can do that and drop it in the mail immediately. I don't have to go looking for my address labels. I don't have to go find a stamp or go to the post office. It's all there, ready to go. So that is a guilt-free communication system that I've put into place so that I can reach out to people. Now, the middle point here, money. I mean, everybody take a deep breath. Make sure that you're handling your money correctly. You will need to pay taxes on the money that comes in through your Jamberry business. Up until I made my first year with Jamberry, I made $25,000. And that was the last year that I didn't owe any taxes. That was the last year that we got a tax return, and that the home office expense was enough to take care of that, and I didn't owe any tax money. Once you start making more than that, you're going to have to pay taxes. Now, don't be afraid, because if you're paying taxes, that means you're making money. I would much rather make $150,000 a year in Jamberry money and pay 20%, 30% in taxes than to not make $150,000 in Jamberry money. So if you owe taxes, you're doing good. But you need to make sure that you're managing that money. If your commission is growing and getting dangerous, you can pay taxes quarterly so you don't get a big hit at the end of the year. There's nothing worse than getting a tax bill for $15,000, $20,000. Don't ask me how I know. It hurts. It's painful. But Carolyn says she'd love to have an actual PowerJam focused on money management. I would as well. Jamberry does provide training at international conference to the elite executives, and I have petitioned them to expand that out to any executive level, because I think it's really important. But before then, you can use a plan like Dave Ramsey, or there's tons of money management solutions that can help you get your money in order and in check. And then the final item here is to invest in help. Don't spend time on petty chores. This goes into that delegation again. Stacy says, my husband wouldn't let me be a consultant anymore if we had to pay taxes on it. If we weren't getting a return, he'd probably kill me. Not if you could retire him from his job like I retired my husband. It's always kind of a catch-22. I would absolutely rather make more money and owe taxes on it than not make more money, because I can do so much for our family and for the world with that money. So don't spend time on petty chores. If when you're doing small things that you could hire someone else to do, like a high school student, maybe a mom that wants to work a couple hours a week, you're blessing them and they're blessing you. You can invest a small amount of money wisely to free up your time to let you do the bigger things. I can pay somebody $10 an hour, and she can work she can stuff packets and fill out mail and send things out like nobody's business. And during that hour, she gets more done. She gets more mail out than I do in 3 hours of trying, because I get distracted by other things and I don't enjoy it. It's not my favorite part. My favorite part is meeting with people, doing trainings, doing talking, meeting new people. So whatever your favorite part is, consider hiring help or finding someone even who will work for jams. It doesn't have to be expensive, but figure out what you can delegate, and that will help you manage your business. One of the first things that I did is hire somebody to help me clean house, because I don't like cleaning toilets. And I can make more money in 1 hour with Jamberry than I can, than it costs me to pay somebody else to clean the toilet. So just think about those things. We're going to move on to the next slide, which is emotional management. This is a really fun topic. So let me know. Somebody give me a thumbs up or a yes whenever you see the slide. Oh, it didn't change because I didn't change it. Hang on. Okay, so it should say emotional management now. Good. All right, so Um, there's something called emotional intelligence, emotional IQ, if you will. And um, being able to manage your emotions is crucial to the longevity and the joyfulness of your business. People that you've invested in personally, oh, thank you, Tiffany. People that you've invested in personally, emotionally, and through your time, they will stop doing Jamberry. I mean, it's just the nature of our business. People come and go. Um, they're not trying to hurt you. They're just trying to do their own thing. Or perhaps they're not meant to be in the business for a long term. If they walk away, it's okay. Some will, some won't. Someone else is waiting who does want Jamberry in their life. So don't take it personally when you quote unquote lose a team member. Emotional intelligence and managing those emotions consists of four. Okay, it's zoomed in. I don't know how I did that. Hmm. All right, we'll reshare it, see if we can fix it. Okay, is that better? Looks like it's okay now. So the first component is self-awareness. This is where you recognize your own emotions and how they affect your thoughts and your behavior. You know your own strengths, you know your own weaknesses, and you have self-confidence. Self-esteem and self-confidence is internal. It comes from you. You're not relying on someone else to give you esteem and confidence. That is self-awareness. Self-management is when you're able to control impulsive feelings and behaviors, and you're able to manage your emotions in healthy ways. You can start to take initiative. You can follow through on commitments, and you can adapt to ever-changing circumstances. If whenever you are having challenging moments, you are able then to take control. This is the goal. You want to be able to take control of your own emotions, of your own self when you have those challenging moments. If you're striving for perfection, you're only going to frustrate yourself. So remember my little mantra that done is better than perfect. The next component is social awareness. This is where you start to turn those internal strengths and attributes and apply them to people around you. You can understand the emotions, the needs, and the concerns of other people. You are able to start picking up on emotional cues. You begin to feel more comfortable socially, and you recognize the power dynamics in a group or in an organization. Um, the goal in this portion is to be able to understand what is going on socially in your group. Is your organization a healthy place? Do you have bad seeds and negative Nellies who are influencing other team members with their negativity? This is an important step, a component of emotional management. And then finally is relationship management. This is where you know how to develop and maintain good relationships. Based on clear communication, you're able to communicate clearly to other people, and you're able to inspire and influence other people. You work well in a team, and you manage conflict. A goal here is to set expectations and communicate clearly. Um, if you have a printed report of your team, it's okay to Sharpie somebody out of your reports if they're frustrating you or they're a negative influence in your team. If looking at somebody's name pisses you off, mark their name out. Don't look at it. Don't ignore the whole report because you can't stand to look at that person's name. Okay, it's okay to Sharpie them out. It's okay to ignore a negative influence. But I want you to also remember that hurting people hurt other people. So every time there is a conflict and someone is lashing out, maybe they are being unkind, just remember that that's coming from a place of hurt. Hurting people hurt people. So there are some things that you can do to improve your emotional IQ or your emotional management. The first thing is don't react right away. Think it through before you act. I can't tell you how many times I have started to type a comment to reply to something or somebody, and I have um, delete, backspace, and I close out my computer, and I'm like, nope, I cannot talk to this person right now because she does not want to hear what I have to say, and I do not want to hear what she has back to say back to me when I finish telling her what I'm going to tell her. So if you are a little bit of a hothead, that is not a spiritual gift that needs to be shared with everyone. Rein it in. Don't act while you're upset. Take some time to think it through. If you are a praying woman, ask for divine guidance. Ask for help from other people. Find a healthy outlet. If you are really upset, go for a walk. Go cook something. Maybe it's time for you to try out that beaten chicken recipe. You really pound it with the meat pounder and flatten it out. Maybe it's time for you to take up some kickboxing classes. You find a healthy outlet for that frustration. Cleaning, I don't like to clean, but I can tell you what, whenever I'm angry and I start cleaning, I can get a lot done. So find another outlet. Always look for the bigger picture. This whole concept of don't sweat the small stuff and it's all small stuff. Let that really, really come into play here. Look for the bigger picture. Don't let the little things get to you. One person, 5, 10 people leaving your team is not going to have an impact when you keep soaring to the top. I probably have had more people leave my team than most people have had join their team. And if I had allowed that to define my success, we would not be talking tonight. I had to choose that them changing their mind about Jamberry did not affect me one bit. It was their loss. So don't let other people determine your future and your destiny. Replace your thoughts. This is a big one. Change your negative thoughts for positive thoughts. When you're starting to go down a negative road, whenever your mind starts lying to you, it starts saying, nobody wants what you've got. I don't know why you even try. You should just give up before you make a fool of yourself. You're not any good at this. Nobody makes it to the top. You're fooling yourself. You should quit while you're ahead. You're too dumb to do this. Only the pretty people make it to the top. I could go on and on. My brain lies to me. I don't know if your brain lies to you, but my brain lies to me, and it tells me all kinds of negative things. And if you indulge those negative thoughts, it becomes a self-perpetuating, self-fulfilling cycle. And you have to counteract it. So just like self-awareness is the first step here in emotional management, being aware of your negative thoughts is the first step in, admitting you have a problem is the first step to recovery. Recognize those negative thoughts and immediately replace them. If this is a struggle area for you, I highly recommend Dana Wild and the Mind Aware. Her courses are amazing for helping you replace your negative thoughts with positive thoughts or mantras that will reinforce the life that you are creating for yourself. For a long time, my positive mantras were I am a leader of leaders. I attract positive people, and money is flowing my way. I had alarms set on my phone to go off 3 times a day, with each time with a mantra to remind myself to stay in a positive place, because my brain lied to me a lot. If you struggle with depression, this is an excellent way to counteract that. Post-it notes on your mirror, on your refrigerator, on the visor of your car, positive inspirational plaques and words in your home as a screensaver on your phone and on your computer. Surround yourself with positivity and root out the negativity. And then forgive your emotional triggers. Forgive anything that triggers you. Maybe it's family, maybe it's stress, maybe it's holidays. I mean, all of these things combined, that's enough to trigger anybody. But add into that any kind of loss or financial challenge or life change situation. Just know going into it what it is that triggers you and forgive it in advance. Okay? Patricia says one of her favorites is I can do hard things. She says that to herself a lot. I love that. I've started doing an annual theme. Last year my annual theme was self-care is not selfish. This year my annual theme is I am enough. I mean I struggle because I want to be so much more. I have so many dreams and goals. I want to be an amazing um, seller like Jackie Stimson. I want to be an amazing elite executive like Rachel Hughes. I want to be funny and loved by people like Lindsay Matai. I want to have an amazing social media following like Angela Porter of Beauty and Jams. And there's so much that I want to do and want to become that I have a tendency to forget all of the amazing things that I do and how awesome I really am. I have to remind myself of that. And you have to remind yourself too that your brain is lying to you. If it says you're not awesome, it's a liar. Tell it to shut up. Okay? So know what your emotional triggers are and forgive them. Just forgive them in advance. You know it's coming. If it's that mother-in-law issue or that guy at work who always says the wrong thing or whatever it is, just forgive it in advance. You know it's coming. Now, next slide is reason, season, or a lifetime. So I'm just going to read this and then we'll talk about it. People come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. When you figure out which one it is, you will know what to do for each person. When someone is in your life for a reason, it's usually to meet a need that you have expressed. They have come to assist you through a difficulty, to provide you with guidance and support, to aid you physically, emotionally, or spiritually. They might seem like a godsend, and they are. They are there for a reason that you need them to be. Then, without any wrongdoing on your part, or at an inconvenient time, this person will say or do something to bring the relationship to an end. Sometimes they die. Sometimes they walk away. Sometimes they act up and force you to take a stand. What we must do is realize that our need has been met, our desire fulfilled, their work is done. The prayer that you sent up has been answered, and now it is time to move on. Some people come into your life for a season because your turn has come to share, grow, or learn. They bring you an experience of peace or make you laugh. They may teach you something you have never done. They usually give you an unbelievable amount of joy. Believe it, it is real, but only for a season. Lifetime relationships teach you lifetime lessons, things you must build upon in order to have a solid emotional foundation. Your job is to accept the lesson, love the person, and put what you have learned to use in all other relationships and areas of your life. It is said that love is blind, but friendship is clairvoyant. Our role is to just accept the lesson that we need to learn. Love the people and put what you've learned into all your other relationships and areas in your life. When you're open to people being with you for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, you know that you're going to grow and you're going to become a better person. And you're going to help other people grow and become better people as well. This is where a phrase, bless and release, often comes into play. Whenever someone is on their way out of your life, sometimes you just have to bless and release and let them go. That concludes our training portion. So let's talk about homework for our last bit of homework. So there will be a post in the group for time management change, your business management change, and your emotional management change. Those are the written assignments, if you will, to share in the group the items that you will change in each of these areas. So watch for the post throughout the week. And then the homework menu part B is very similar to previous weeks. A power hour, a party, booking new parties, sponsor a recruit, and making customer care calls. I hope that through doing part B of your homework, you've trained yourself into a routine or gotten even into a habit of making these part of your everyday business. Stacy says she can't believe this is our last bit of homework. I don't want this to end. I agree. This has been great. I want you to come back for the next PowerJam session in June and bring people with you. Those who are shooting for leadership, we have a session called On the Rise that will happen in April. And that is specifically designed for those who have achieved the goal of lead consultant at least and are wanting to work towards leadership, to get into team management and beyond. So if that describes you, work really hard between now and April to become a lead consultant and ask your upline team manager to nominate you for this On the Rise program. There are only 3 to 4 spots per team manager. So make sure you bug her and let her know that you want it, that you want to be a leader, you want to continue to grow. We will do what I am doing for training this year is I'm alternating PowerJam and On the Rise every other month with new consultant training. So in the odd numbered months, we're doing new consultant training. And in the even numbered months, we're alternating PowerJam and On the Rise. And Jesse's asking, will you be sharing the reason, season, or lifetime slide? Yes, I will. Um, and Jacqueline says, thank you from the bottom of my heart. You are very, very welcome. This is because my love language is words of affirmation. Knowing that you guys are having such an incredible time and growing so much feeds my soul. So this is awesome for me. It is not work. I enjoy meeting with you and doing these trainings. Um, so that concludes our session tonight. I will post into the group all of the slides and the homework, and then we will meet up next week for graduation, and we'll have a special guest speaker that I'm still not going to tell you who it is. And I cannot wait for you to graduate this next week. So I'll see you in the groups, and I'll see you next week. Bye, ladies. Yes, on Monday next week.